Welcome back to the Peace Day Global Broadcast Studio, provided by All Things Peace in Portland, Oregon. It's a great honor now to have Abrima Dim joining us, the founder of Global Unification International, located in Gambia. Abrima, welcome to the Peace Day broadcast.
Yes, thank you very much.
It's a real
Thank
pleasure to
you.
have you. So I thought we'd start by asking what it is that Global Unification International does and a little bit about how it got started.
Thank you very much. Before talking about global implication, I just want to make some little bit of correction in the introduction.
Sure.
I am not. I'm not the founder of the Global Implication International. The founder is in Australia.
Great, thank you.
The of the organization in the Gambia. Because Global Education International is an international body having chapters in almost over our 24 countries in Africa, in Europe, and also in Asia. So I am the one heading the Gambian chapter of the Global Unification International. So my organization now, maybe you can say Global Unification International, the Gambia. Okay.
Perfect.
What? Yeah, Global Unification International, the Gambia is a youth-led research and development organization that work with young peoples and community, trying to support their innovation and action and effort to move out of poverty
Mm-hmm.
and support their adaptation effort to climate change issues, and also trying to provide access to information and communication technology to the poor people of the Gambia, and at the same time also trying to enhance the capacity and the capability of young people to participate effectively in national development. So basically what we're doing is like we're trying to empower community and young people to become change makers. Yeah.
Yeah, technology I think is one of the most critical things. Are you finding that that's making a difference and helping?
Yeah. Yes, because what we try to do is like we realize that information communication technology is an important aspect that developing countries can use in their struggle to develop.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have been seeing how it's have been used in other developed countries and trying to access sustainable development. And what we are also concerned about that we find out that majority of the Gambian, for example, don't have access to internet, or many of them don't know how to use the information communication technology, and because of that, they find it difficult to access the job market or able to
Mm-hmm.
become marketable in this job area. So what we are doing at Global Education, the Gambia, is to establish an information communication technology center in the Gambia where we are training young people on the basic information communication technology skills. In addition to that, we are also training young people on how to repair electronics and then how to repair mobile phone, whereby we are able to build their capacity to become self-independent, and they're using that knowledge to start up their own business, in terms of electronic areas. Yeah,
That's
and
great.
that is one aspect that we are doing. In addition to that, also we have been engaging local community in our work. We do organize some training for local communities on basic adaptation skills on climate change issues, and also trying to provide some insecticide treated bednets, for local communities that are suffering from malaria.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you just hit two of the things. Really, one of our focuses on this broadcast every year is to keep people educated about the Millennium Development Goals, where things are going with that, and of course, Millennium Development Goal 6 is specifically about AIDS, malaria, and other diseases. How is it going in addressing the malaria problem in your area?
Yes, because what we have realized is that in the Gambia, malaria is not only a disease, but it is an economic problem. We have realized that malaria is a serious concern for our national development.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, there is a particular period in the Gambia is called malaria season. You find out that during the malaria season, for example, most of the teachers, for example, cannot go to teach in school because they're suffering from malaria. We also realize that many of the children cannot able to go to school because they're suffering from malaria. In fact, many of the workforce, like the civil servant, cannot go to work because they are suffering from malaria. So what we see that this is not only a health problem, but it's an economic problem for the Gambia. So what we do that, though we are very small, we think that's what we can do to help, prevent or reduce the effect of malaria in the Gambia. And our own strategy is like we might not be able to introduce drugs, for example, malaria prevention drugs in the Gambia, but we can able to buy mosquito-treated bed nets
Mm-hmm.
that we can able to introduce to local community. And then these bed nets are reducing the mortality and are also reducing morbidity and mortality of young people that are suffering from malaria. In addition
Right.
to that, We are also providing other cheap methods, such as educating the community on malaria prevention. Because we have realized that most local community in the Gambia, for example, they know that using Bednet is a good strategy to help prevent malaria, but because of certain traditional connotation, certain traditional belief, like for example, if you are under a heated Bednet, it's like you are inside a coffin, for example, if like you are dead, and you find that the most young people or most women don't want to sleep under a bed net because they have the impression that it's like, it's not beautiful to be under a covered,
Wow.
a covered white, because of the traditional superstition. So what we're trying to do is to change that mindset of the local community to say that this sleeping under a bed has nothing to do with death, it has nothing to do with superstition, but it helps to prevent you from suffering from malaria. So one of our aspects that we're
Wow.
trying to do is like how to change the people's mentality, that they have to use this insecticide treated bed net to sleep under a bed net, and then also to support children to sleep under a bed net, because what we have also realized is that children and pregnant women are one of the people most vulnerable to malaria. So this is one of our aspects that's like we give them insecticide treated bed net, at the same time also educate them, change their mindset towards sleeping on their bed net, and we also train them on how to do bed net dipping. It's like, there are some certain chemicals that we normally use in the bed net, and we train this local community to do this thing for themselves without waiting for a doctor to come and do it for them.
If
So in essence, we are trying to empower the local community to take their own action, take their own initiative, and then be the solution or to their own problems.
if people want to donate to a particular organization to get bed nets, I know that's really one of the most productive ways to stop more people getting malaria. Although I had not heard about the belief system, I wasn't actually aware that there was kind of a stigma, a social stigma against actually using a bed net. That, considering that your life and your child's life are at stake, you would think.
Yeah.
But let me get to this. Do you get nets from the UN Foundation, Malaria No More? Is there any particular organization that is providing you with nets that our viewers might be able to donate, since bed nets are so inexpensive?
Yes, actually, since we started this campaign in 2009, we haven't got direct support from the UNAID, for example. We haven't got the direct support from the Global Fund to do our activities, but we have been working closely with the National Malaria Control Program in the Gambia. And in addition to that, we also have some volunteers here in Spain called Africa Stop Malaria. This organization work with us directly because we are the implementing partner of their project. So normally what they do here is they make some fundraising programs here in Spain, raise the money, and then send their volunteers to come to Gambia, work with us. Then we go to the nearest pharmacy, buy this bed net, and then take them to the community. But at the same time, also we also work with the National Malaria Control Program. It's a government department that's responsible for malaria education, malaria prevention, and treatment in the Gambia. So what we normally do is whenever we are doing some of this distribution, we go with a health officer, because in Gambia, in every village they have what they call a community health officer, and this community health officer works directly under the Department of Ministry of Health and also the National Malaria Control Program. So we go with these health officers to go to the community and then trying to teach them about this bed net dippings, and we also trying to train them on how to use the bed net, how to hang them in their houses,
Right.
and also try to educate them about the changing their mindset about the need to sleep on their bed net, trying to make them understand that bed net is a way of preventing them rather than killing them, because instead of the general perception is if you are sleeping on that bed, it's not beautiful, it's not nice. We try to make them understand that this is a life-saving instrument that you have to use. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like it really is the way to go. And I think you also, in what you've been telling us, have really pointed out just how interconnected all the Millennium Development Goals are. Two is universal primary education, but you can't go to school if you've got malaria and you're sick, right? And Millennium Development Goal 8 is about global development, really economics, and how all of these different things are so interrelated to one another. Well, we have just a little bit more time. A little later today, it was planned for next, but we've got some special guests who are going to be calling in as well, so we're going to be putting this off. But in just a little bit, we're going to be playing a whole segment on refugees, looking at the refugee issue in different places around the world. And
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you might share with us if there's any kind of issue that you're dealing with in Gambia in your local area with either refugees who are forced to flee the area or refugees who are coming into the area and putting a
Mm.
burden on the local community.
Yes. I would confess that though our organization have not been directly been engaged on refugee issues, but then notwithstanding, refugee and conflicts is a burning issue in the Gambia. Looking at our geographical location, Gambia is located in a region that is very, very volatile. It's like it's located in the volatile region of West Africa, where most of the countries were either at war or have just come out from war. For example, looking at the cases like Casamance, Casamance is the southern region of Senegal. This region that have been at war for the past 30 years, and then it's like it's bothering the Gambia. Every year or every month we receive almost about thousands of refugees that are coming from Casamance, to enter to the Gambia,
Mm-hmm.
and then these have some kind of burdens to us as a country. And not only Casamance, but also in the other neighboring countries. For example, Eastern Guinea-Bissau have been at war for almost about 15 years, and we do not receive refugees from them. Guinea-Conakry, just after the post-war election, there was some kind of violence, and then we received a lot of refugees coming from there. And we also have Cote d'Ivoire, we also have Liberia, the list just goes on. So what we are saying that most of these refugees coming to the Gambia, they have both the positive effects and they also have negative effects.
Right.
One of the positive effects is that some of these refugees come with skills. For example, some of them were teachers in their country before the war, and then when they come to Gambia, they transfer these skills to the younger generation. Some of them, they were doctors in their country, and when they come to Gambia, they also, promote the skill that they have, in their
Right.
countries. The list goes on, but notwithstanding, also it also has some negative consequences because before Gambia used to be a very very peaceful country, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's like the people there used to be normally you hardly hear about problems, you hardly hear about somebody kill somebody. But what we have realized is that since the coming of the influx of these refugees, the general attitude of the people have been changing, and it's like now the crime rate is increasing, and then this increase in crime rate is associated with the increase in number of refugees that are maybe some of them were rebels before, some of them were bandits before, and then they're trying to inflate that into the community and then trying to change the people's way of life. The other thing also is like most of the time when the number of refugees are increasing, and especially in a situation whereby these refugees are not registered, under the United Nations Commission for Refugee, they
Mm-hmm.
normally live with local community. It's like like for example, if there is a conflict in Casamance, and then because Casamance and Gambia they are closely related. For example, you can have somebody who is in the Gambia and the mother is from Casamance, or maybe the
Mm-hmm.
mother is from Casamance and the father is a Gambia. It's like that. This family relation between the Gambia and Casamance. So you find out that this community from Casamance at war, people will be going to leave and they come to Gambia and then live with this community. And looking at the poverty level of this community in the Gambia, you find out that even to cater for themselves is a problem. And then, when these refugees now come and stay with the family, it's going to be an added burden, to the community, for that family, able to take care of that themselves, and at the same time, able to take care of the an added person, as a refugee within that family. So this is also another problem for most people, especially those that are living around the border,
Right.
in a region called Fonyi. Fonyi is a region in the Gambia that is very, very close to Casamance, and then you find out that thousands and thousands of refugees have been registered, and then that is causing a very, very serious problem for the poor people themselves. Yeah.
It just seems with as I'm listening to you that it just points out how interconnected our world is, that the borders that exist are less and less important, and that really when we look at a solution we need all the people of the world to stand up for peace and choose that and make their own leaders responsible in whatever way they can in
Yeah.
order to resolve these issues that are transnational.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think for one way in which we should able to address this refugee issue is to promote peace in our neighboring country.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we says that what affects country X, able to affect country B. And then looking at the interrelation between the countries, for example, if there is a war in a particular country, automatically going to affect either directly or indirectly the neighboring country. So what's most important here is that how are we able to solve those conflicts that are happening in those countries, and then trying to reduce the number of refugees. Because what we know is as long as there are conflicts, then refugees are bound to come, whether we like them or not, whether there is a burden or not. So the number one principle that we're supposed to do is to promote peace within the sub-region, to promote peace within Casamance, to promote peace within Guinea-Bissau, to promote peace within Guinea-Conakry. And if that is the case, then there'll be no refugee, because refugees are always caused by war, by instability. So if there is stability, if there is progress, if there is peace, then there is no need for refugees, for us to be able to cope those refugees. So I think that what they support, the first primary principle of our leaders from all the West African countries, is how do we able to work together, as a region, trying to, cope out the banditry, for example, that's happening, trying to cope out the rebellion that's happening, for example, trying to see how best to be able to live, peacefully among each other without causing violence, and then the problem of refugee will going to be solved.
Great.
Yeah.
Obrima, I really want to thank you for coming on the broadcast today. And if there's anything that Peace Day TV or our 501 organization that we're the media division for, All Things Peace, can do for you or your organization, please let me know. It's just been a pleasure to speak with you.
Yeah, it's my pleasure too, because actually when I learned about it, looking at the fact that on the 21st of September is the International Day of Peace, I would just like to use this opportunity from this television time to lobby our policymakers, to lobby our leaders, to lobby African leaders to promote peace. Because without peace, there is no development. Without peace, there is no sustainable development, and without peace, there will be no work. So, what is the number one principle of living of sustainable development is to ensure that there is peaceful coexistence, is to ensure that there is peace and tranquility in every country in the world. When there is peace and tranquility, then progress will happen, and the sustainable development will be realized at the end of the day.
We need to make them keep their promise, both on the Millennium Development Goals, on sustainable development, and on creating peace, so that the people of the countries can live as well as possible. Wow.
Yeah, because it's very.
Thank you. Well, look, there you are. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the peace is number one principle. That's the most important. We're talking about climate disaster, we're talking about climate justice, we're talking about sustainable development. But I think the prerequisite for all those things is to have peace. So we have to try to promote the culture of peace within ourselves, try to promote the culture of peace within local community, and also trying to promote the culture of peace between regions of different countries of the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bless you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You got it. We'll be chatting again, I'm sure, with Obrima on Peace Day TV over the years, hopefully keeping up with him. Right now, what we're going to do is play a couple of music videos while we set up to see if we can have some of our special guests who should be coming in also as well to visit the Peace Day broadcast. These are people that you're going to recognize if you watch any of the UN activities with the youth conference and some of the other things. So we're going to hopefully be back in just a few minutes, and I think we're first going to play one Michael Franti song, and then we'll play a song for and about malaria and getting it solved. Sound good?
All right, thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Take it away.